G'day. Clayton here from XY Advisor, myself, Ben, and Adrian. We all just interviewed dad joke connoisseur Shane Black. So a bit of a background, he grew up in a town called Dunedoo, and how unbelievably Australian does that sound? Then becomes a police detective. Goes on to become a financial planner. But the interesting thing that I found about Shane is his exploration into the world of how to run an efficient and effective business and how to provide efficient, effective, and valuable advice. He's obviously thought about a lot of these things quite a lot, and we draw a few of those key lessons out. So hopefully you enjoy. This episode is proudly sponsored by NetWealth. Launching nearly 20 years ago, this ASX-listed company is ranked number one for overall platform functionality and user satisfaction by investment trends for the past 3 years. As the financial advice landscape changes, it's important now more than ever to embrace new technology and enhance the way you do business. With this change comes your chance to innovate, explore new perspectives, and realize new efficiencies. NetWealth is here to support you on this journey by providing you market-leading technology, excellent customer support, and expertise to help you innovate in your business. Visit the NetWealth website to learn more and get the PDS which clients should read before making a decision. Products issued by NetWealth Investments Limited. Do you have kids?
I do, yeah.
Because some of these dad jokes that are just coming out left, right and centre.
Yeah, but he doesn't understand. It's like you turned one yesterday. So although I've been practicing dad jokes for about 5 or 6 years before he even was conceived. So I was getting him plenty of practice.
Well, you've still got a couple of years of him giggling without even knowing what you're saying.
Right.
So
that's right.
You're going to be the funniest guy in the world.
Yeah, he thinks I'm hilarious. I'm like, you don't even understand what I'm doing. I must look hilarious.
So you started your business in May, is that right?
No, I started back in 2014. It's almost been 4 years exactly. It was October 2014. I was previously under a branded advice offering. And so we only rebranded to our own brand in May. So at that point, I was just trying to keep it secret because it was I didn't like being in the branded advice offering. So
I see.
So it's all Shane now. It's just
it's just Shane. Yeah, that's the business. Yeah, I love it.
Inspector Shane.
Yeah, that's right.
So because I was going to, but I suppose even at 4 years, it's like, how do you balance that? You got a 1-year-old.
Yep.
With all the things that you're trying to work on in the business.
Yeah.
So, I don't have kids, but I wonder, if I did have kids, how would you find the time? How do you find that?
Yeah, it became incredibly tough because we sort of, when I left, I was previously with MLC Advice, and when we left that, we left a whole heap of clients. Well, I left a whole heap of clients behind. So the business shrunk, but I had more stuff to do because there was obviously, when you're switching licensees, if you haven't done it, don't do it if you can get out of it because it's a pain in the ass. But ever since my son came along last October, time has been something that's been on my mind a lot, and it's kind of like, we've been trying to make the business more efficient, but at the same time, we've still got other stuff that we need doing. So it's just been a bit of a process. It's tough, and sometimes you still got to work after hours, but you've also got to know when to, pull the pin and say that's enough, time to go, and make my son laugh uncontrollably just for existing. So, yeah.
Did you notice a big difference in support? Like, you obviously coming from what's supposedly a more structured support environment.
Yeah.
Did you notice the difference when you...
Coming from MLC Advice?
Yeah, like there's a lot more infrastructure there, but how much was the gap?
Not that big, no. The infrastructure, the support wasn't as much as it probably could be with MLC Advice, hence why I probably left. But yeah, not so much lack of the less support or anything like that, so it's still been pretty much the status quo. We just changed, the signage on the office basically, and started changing the websites, and we only launched one of them last week, I think. So it's been a bit of a process. But
multiple websites?
Yeah, because we've got a mortgage broking.
Multiple, you mean different
business as well.
I like it.
Yeah.
So, and are you broking yourself?
No, my wife is.
Okay.
Yeah, technically it's a side hustle, but I call myself the air quotes if you're listening relationship manager, which means that I hunt the business and get people in the door, and then she takes over for all the compliance work. So I do all the fun stuff, and she does all the not
important
fun stuff.
Important.
That's a good word for not fun stuff. Yeah, important stuff. I'm going to start using that. Yeah, can you do the important stuff for me?
So I'm keen to sort of explore this a little more though. But you, like, in terms of what your hours look like before your son come along to what it looks like now. What does that look like?
Good question. Still do probably more than 50 hours a week in the businesses. But it's just the time changes. So, for example, on Mondays, I look after my son. So it's a non-negotiable. I work from home. But the reality is,
I like this quote.
If you're listening, it's very hard to see me do the air quotes. So maybe I should announce it. If you're watching the video, hey, there's an air quote in there. But so Mondays I look after my son. So very little work gets done. So maybe 2 or 3 hours during the day. But then when my wife comes home, I'll usually spend an hour or two of her, and then I'll work from maybe 6 or 7 p.m. until 11 or 12 on a Monday. So I still get in maybe 7 or 8 hours, but it's just the day is split. So you just kind of find a way. So rather than you become very good at delegating as well. So I've got one full-time staff member here in Australia, and it's just, and I've got some help, virtual help overseas. So it's pretty much just become very good at delegating. It's I don't
all the important stuff.
The important stuff, yeah, it's definitely not fun. It's important.
You're going to run with that, are you?
I am. I have to say it 3 times to commit it to memory. So,
do you find yourself being like any more, less, or otherwise efficient? Like, given that you're splitting your time in the way that you are?
No, I think the efficiency side, I think I've got pretty well. So we tend to batch tasks, and we work on workflows and how we do stuff a lot to try and get that efficiency there, because I hate double handling stuff. I hate wasted time. I'd rather be doing more fun stuff than the important stuff.
Third time.
I've got it. It's committed to memory.
So a lot of people. Some people have gone to get a virtual sort of support, and some people haven't. What would you say to people that are thinking about it?
Do it, yeah. Without hesitation, just do it. Even if it's it doesn't necessarily need to be, client data stuff. So people who are worried about the privacy stuff. One of the first things I originally outsourced was my email inbox, because it was becoming sort of overwhelming. So I actually had a guy that would triage all my stuff. He'd sit in my inbox, and at 4 p.m. every afternoon we'd have a 10-minute meeting, and he'd say, this is what came through. This is what I've already handed off to someone else. This is what you personally need to do. This stuff I wasn't sure about. And so that was one of the first things that I actually outsourced.
That's phenomenal. I tried doing exactly that. It didn't work for me. It works for you?
Yeah. It's like anything. It's kind of, you need to have some rules set up. And every time a new situation comes up, we would just say, this is a new rule. And so if you didn't know something, or something was handled incorrectly, I'd just say, this is a new rule. If this happens, then do this.
Yeah, that's mad. And you've got two different websites as far as I can tell.
Yep.
1.5, I'd say.
What comes through from this?
I think I have just 4 or 5. So.
Do you really?
I actually own 30-something, but there's only 4 or 5. So this one I haven't updated in months, but...
Was that during the name selection process?
Yeah. So this is shaneblack.me. So this was like candidate 1 for the business name. And I was like, no.
This is when it was Shane.
Yeah, just Shane. But that was unavailable. Shane.com was unavailable, surprisingly. But shaneblack.com was unavailable because apparently it's a Hollywood director. He did. So don't confuse me with that.
Selfish.
Inspector Black, financial planning.
Is
that in there?
Constable Black.
Constable
Detective Black, financial planning.
Yeah, that's kind of what
Let me investigate your finances.
Dude, you have to do it. Does this website bring in any clients? The one that's specifically about you? Because I'm looking at it now. It doesn't really talk. No, so it doesn't. No.
So we started this one, and the whole thing about this was it was a placeholder, and we're actually going to get that rebuilt out.
Okay.
So this was more for any stuff that wasn't related to financial planning.
Yep.
So obviously I geek out in business a bit. Yeah, the fun stuff, like business automation and a bit of marketing stuff. So this was a placeholder, and then we're going to sort of produce content to go on there eventually.
Interesting. Well, talk us through, so how many different funnels do you have?
Probably only, in terms of funnels for clients, not that many, not as many as I'd like. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how does the Facebook bot go?
Which
one?
one?
A bit of a look on your site, on the finance site.
Yeah, that's good for the ManyChat one. Is that the one?
Oh, you got it popping up on the screen?
Yeah, so if you go to pearlfinancial.com.au, which is the mortgage
broking site. And then it was like,
site.
Authorize me to scrape all of your data and own your life. I was like,
yeah,
nah, man.
That's right. So basically, while we're having this interview, I've already got his bank account details. So I mean, we're recording? Oh, no, it definitely wasn't me. So if you go there, there's a pop-up, and that's actually It actually works well because if you click and do authorize it, then you get added to an audience in ManyChat, which is Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
So we have a few different lists. So we have a list in Explain, which is obviously financial planning. I have a list in Podium, which is the mortgage broking stuff, or Salesforce, I think it is. And then we have a marketing list with Active Campaign, another list with ManyChat. So there's this...
Are many people going on to this chatbot?
Oh, we get a few a week, but it's not.
Right.
It's not massive.
Not many. That's like false advertising, though, isn't it?
Yeah, so
ManyChat.
yeah, few chat. Yeah,
We should call it
a couple chats.
a couple chat.
Yeah, but it depends on the time frame though. If you look at maybe a year, it's many chats over
Yeah, I
a year,
suppose
but
that's
a couple of
that's
chats
a
over
good-
a week.
that's a
So
good point.
it's like anything, right? Investment returns over a couple of days. Yeah.
Have you put much of effort into the responses and the automation around that discussion?
Yeah, so we do a lot. I've done a lot of testing with the automation. We use it's the URL ref tool, so you can actually trigger an automation in ManyChat.
Oh, yeah. RF or something. Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Kept
And there's another one
talking
called a
about that, I think,
JSON. So a JSON
yeah.
tool is what you use on Facebook when you're doing an advertisement on Facebook. And
For
someone
those
clicks
of us who have no idea what you guys are talking about,
Yep.
what are you talking about?
So the I think it's URL ref. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but if you place a link somewhere specific, whether it be an email or whatever, someone clicks on that, it triggers an automation or a message or a flow in ManyChat. So it goes through to Facebook Messenger. Oops, shouldn't touch the desk. It goes through to Facebook Messenger. And then it will ask them a specific question, and depending on the response, you can sort of branch out with different responses.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's smart enough to understand the responses.
No, so you can either have keywords or you can have buttons. So the buttons tend to be there to lead the conversation. Air
Yes.
quotes again for the listeners. And or they sometimes you can put keywords in. So for example, just the other day, someone messaged me and said, "Do you do construction finance?" So he entered the bot and then clicked, it was like new lending or something, and then, do you do construction finance? But we didn't have something set up to respond to that, so I responded to myself. I went, no. So
Yeah.
it's commercial finance. So he's like, can you help us borrow $100 million? And I'm like, I don't even know where to start. Yeah.
Could you
$1 million.
Could you imagine going onto a chatbot to ask her $100 million?
Yeah.
That's the-
I used to get that stuff on LinkedIn, though, people, like
Come
commercial
on.
finance, business finance stuff as well. Like,
Yeah.
do you know anyone that you can introduce me to that will give me heaps of money? It's like, no, I don't. I want
Wow.
heaps,
Yeah,
I want
it's-
heaps of money.
This is 2018, the barriers to the conversation or where the conversations are happening are just different, whereas before, I was even speaking to someone earlier this week and they came up to my office and they said, I just wanted to, see you face to face, eyeball to eyeball, because there's nothing like having a meeting face to face. And previously we had a Zoom meeting and I was like, the Zoom meeting was fine for me. So just different generations or different, the barriers to the conversation are changing.
Or the
where-
trust building process.
That's right. So he's 50-something, and then he still needs to sit in front of someone to trust them. Whereas I'm like, as long as we have a Zoom conversation,
Yeah.
we're down for it, type of thing.
Do you do much Zoom stuff with clients?
Not as much as I want to. So we're sort of moving towards that more and more. So we still have some clients that insist on meeting face to face. I'm like, that's cool as long as you come to me, because we want to keep it efficient. And now that I've got the baby, it's kind of like we're very guarded of my time. So yeah. Want to do more.
And where do you get your clients from?
Mostly from internal referrals from clients, and then obviously the strategic partnerships, accountants and real estate agents, and all the what they call them, COIs, I think is the industry standard. So referral partners.
Centres of influence.
Yeah, centres of influence. That's it.
And so, do you have a structured process for referrals? Is that how you get your referrals?
No, not so much. No. With our clients, we do have a structured process. So every 3 months, I have a little pop-up that pops up in my calendar, and that triggers me to actually reach out to clients and ask a specific set of questions. And I usually just change the segment of clients that I'm asking.
Yeah.
So it's usually a 4 or 5 question sequence, and it just starts off with, hey, do you need any help with anything? And if it's a yes, we help them with it. If it's a no, they're going, you beauty, just wondering if you could help me with something, and looking to introduce people exactly like you, blah, 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 blah. And then, so we get a few.
That's a
out of
great
that.
first question.
Yeah.
That's a really good first question. Actually, it reminds me of how I tell people that they've got something in their teeth.
Yeah.
Because it's a problem that I never knew how to solve. But I figured it out. It's, do I have anything in my teeth?
Yeah.
And then they say no, and then you can say, because you do.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a great way to intro the topic. So similarly, you say, is there anything I can do to help you?
Yeah.
And then they say no, and then you say, well, do you mind helping me?
Exactly.
That's brilliant.
But it's a genuine question as well. So, it's an excuse to reach out to my existing clients and say, hey, is there anything I can help you with? And if they do say, you know what, I was thinking about this and I was meaning to reach out to you, but hey, you beat me to it.
Which is brilliant, because then you're doing your job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're doing what I'm getting paid for. So
correct.
It's always a bonus for everyone involved.
Yeah. Fee for service.
That's right. Yeah. So, that's a good, where we get lots of our clients from existing clients, and then the centres of influence. And
I got a good question the other day. I went to this dinner with Mark Bynum, organised with the AFA guys, with this guy from the US, Don Connolly, super successful financial advisor. His wife had the biggest engagement ring I've ever seen in my life. It was like Kanye style. It must have been. Oh my god. Anyway, so he's a little bit old school, super amazing though. But he was all about good questions, and pretty much like an old school lifey, but with a real passion for the people and care and etc. But his question was, and I just used it today for the first time, and it worked really well, about asking for referrals. Because normally when I present an SOA, I have this line in the statement of advice, and it says, don't keep it a secret, whatever. And his question was that you ask them, hey, so I really love working with people like you, and I'd love to work with more people like you. If you were me, how would you go about finding more people like you?
That's brilliant.
So instead of asking for people like them...
And then they're just they sit there and they're like...
Yeah, because not putting them on the spot, it's asking, hey, if you were me, it's taking them out of their seat and sort of seeing it from a third person and say...
It was amazing. And then they're like, oh, well, I suppose it just comes from conversations when we meet people, and we'll definitely tell them when we meet people that are in the same situation as us. I was like, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's
a great.
Imagine if the answer was, I'd probably open up a Facebook campaign. I'd probably put on a cost per click at about $1.20, $1.25. Put in a content, maybe a free download for everyone.
Ebook.
Yeah, an ebook. And the guy's sitting there ugh.
Anyway, I thought that was good.
Oh, it is.
Can't escape that. I think that. Asking for help, like you say, people want to help people.
Absolutely.
Most people.
100%, and it's reciprocal, right? If you've read Influence by Robert Cialdini, one of them is reciprocation. We're one of the 6 principles of influence.
Yeah.
So if you're helping them first, which we all should be trying to do, then they almost feel compelled to reciprocate.
Man, that's happened to me several times when you go traveling. Someone comes up and does something for you that you didn't ask for in the first place, and then you end up buying something that you never should have bought.
This is LA or Hollywood, right? It's like someone gives you a CD.
No. Well, I mean, that kind of thing. That kind of thing. Or a simple one is you get at an airport and you're just wheeling your bag, and then someone comes along and goes, I can give you a hand with it, wheel it to your bag, and then they're like, where are you going? And you're like, this direction, and then your early 20s. Next thing you know, you're being shipped off to some bloody hotel that you never wanted to stay at, and it's dripping through the ceiling.
Sounds like that. Ever seen that movie Hostel? Sounds like.
I have actually. Really, yeah.
I haven't specifically.
To make it out though.
That reminds me. Actually, I went to Africa for the 2010 World Cup, the Soccer World Cup, and there used to be guys standing on the street with sticks or something. And you just park the hire car and you jump out, and then you have to pay them to not steal your car, basically.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, minders.
Interesting.
Yeah, I remember that in South America, actually. There's just guys that would they mind your car.
Yeah, they just stand around, and if you don't pay them to mind it, they will not mind it. You know what I mean?
I remember I was in Argentina and everyone was playing soccer, and I was like, can I play? They're like, yeah, you've just got to give us $100.
That's when you know they don't like you.
Yeah, that's right.
I was like, geez, nothing's changed since primary school.
Except now you got $100.
Yeah.
Paid it.
So I paid it and bought friends.
Yeah.
So what are you working on in your business now?
We're just sort of, after the licensee switch, it's really about consolidating our existing clients, and we're sort of just going through a growth phase now. So we're working on a bit of a content strategy to get a lot more content out there. Just hired a video editor who sits in the Philippines, doing a whole lot of stuff like that. And we're trying to do a lot of content syndication. So film one video, the video editor does his thing, shoots it off to a writer for a blog to be written, and we try to get 3 or 4 bits of content from one effort basically, so one video.
Yeah,
The
nice.
blog page on your site looks pretty awesome.
Yeah. So that's kind of that's kind of been
Perwealth.com.au.
that's kind of been the testing ground, because when I was with MLC Advice. When I was with MLC Advice, you obviously can't do your own blogs because they want you to do MLC ones. And I remember, a couple of years ago, I actually said to them, you've got on your blog page, you don't even have a pixel for Facebook or Google Tag Manager or anything. You can't, retarget anyone if it lands on there. And I said, leave it with us. And that's why I sort of expressed my creativity through Pearl Financial, which is the mortgage broking, just to do the content basically and get the blogs cranking.
So you got the system down pat now, where you can just sort of...
It's never down pat. It's a lot better than it used to be. There's always improvements to be made. So the new editor starts on Monday, so it's going to be a whole bunch of new processes and everything to be built around that. So,
Hey, what about any courses or any structured ways? Because ultimately, when you're creating content, what that's code for is leveraging yourself on a digital in a digital format. But a lot of it's unstructured. In fact, the majority of content is unstructured. I've always thought that the more structured content is, the typically it gets better cut through. Is that any part of your strategy moving forward?
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of the thinkings that we've had, and one of the things we're working on, is that for those clients we can't help from a financial advice or mortgage broking perspective, and you've kind of got to turn them away. Where do you turn away to?
Adrian Paddy.
Yeah.
And now he's sold his business.
Not anymore.
Yeah. So now he sold his business. Can't do that anymore.
Can't send them to Ben Nash.
No. So is it possible that you make some structured content that addresses some of the fundamentals that you can't deliver cost effectively when you're doing it yourself or face to face? So if you had structured content just around basics like budgeting or debt reduction or whatever, could you effectively do a course or some sort of learning module that you can say, hey, you're not quite ready for whatever, or this is what you may consider looking at before we sort of kick everything off in the future.
But what about even for a client that is like it fits your, like it's going to be a client, but to help with that process of educating them? Have you
the onboarding process?
Yeah, have you played around with anything in that? Or?
No, but it's all part of the plan. So we've just filmed a whole lot of stuff for the onboarding process. So once someone becomes a client, an active campaign, we drag and drop, and then it triggers a whole lot of automation where it says they get the video of it. Basically goes through the 5 key principles that we believe makes people a successful client, how to communicate with us. So if you check my emails, I've got like 14,000 unread emails. So I was like, please don't email me, because I had to sack the VA that used to do it. So he one day I messaged him, I say, mate, where are you? I need you to do something. He's like, I'm on a boat. And I'm like, dude, you're supposed to be working away on a boat. So
to be fair, he was on a boat.
Yeah, to be fair. I'm on a boat. So, I always say to clients, number one, if you're going to email me, make sure you CC Karina, who's in my business as well, because I might not get to it for a while. But connect with me on WhatsApp or text message. So it's just...
You got the clients on WhatsApp?
Yeah, so I just tell them, if you need to contact me, it's text message, WhatsApp, phone call. If it's something that needs emailed, CC Karina in, and she can usually get to it. She'll get to it same day, whereas me is kind of someday. Yeah.
How many clients do you have?
Just under 100 at the moment. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Across... Is that FP or...?
No, that's just FP.
Yeah. Okay. And how do you charge?
Money usually, yeah.
Wait. Go on.
What is this?
Charging money? Yes. Do you mean crypto? Or do you mean analog crypto? Right.
Analog crypto, yeah. Right. Analogto. Fee for service. So we just charge an upfront engagement fee, which is for upfront advice, and an ongoing fee. We try and keep it pretty simple.
Yep.
And it's just you that does the advice?
Just me that does the advice at the moment. We'd love to... The vision is to build out to have more advice providers come into the business so I can focus on other things.
When you were transitioning into advice, what made you think you'd be good at it?
So when I was in the police, I was a detective for the majority of the time, which is basically talking to bad people and trying to get them to tell you stuff that they don't want to tell you. So,
were you good at that?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. So
you use the same strategies with clients?
Yeah.
Imposing, standing over the top of the phone
book. You would tell me, otherwise you'll get the phone book. No, it's so the soft skills are exactly the same.
Yeah, right.
Everyone says, "Oh my God, it's so different." I say, "Well, no. The fact is that when you're sitting in a room with someone, the soft skills are exactly the same, and the conversation, the way that you have a conversation, the way that you leave pauses in, everything we use in an interview or anything like that when I was in the police is exactly the same. Obviously, the technical skills are very different, but the actual soft skills are the same.
That's a really cool. So, do you know when people are lying to you in front of you?
And
Sometimes.
do you ever polygraph them?
tell
it was
them
an
I polygraph,
emergency,
yeah.
like polygraph.
Yeah, that's right. No, it's sometimes.
Did you need the pizza oven?
Like, it's more.
No, you didn't. Phone book.
Pizza oven.
Phone book.
Yeah.
Everyone always needs
Or the
pizza
Ducati.
oven.
That's the conversation I had soon. Like, I'm thinking about buying a Ducati. It's like
The answer is yes.
Yeah. It's always a yes when it's a Ducati. If it was any other
Absolutely.
motorbike, it was like, nah.
Yeah.
But no, you can tell sometimes, less so when people are lying, but more so when they're leaving stuff off or not telling you everything.
Wow.
So you know when there's like first level questions and people just give you the answer they think you want to hear, and then there's ways to uncover, what do you really mean by that type of thing, So it's good for values-based advice because you're really getting down to the deeper stuff where you're sort of getting them out of the comfort zone of saying stuff that they think they should say to saying stuff that they actually mean.
And what do you think you do really well as an advisor?
Probably that. It's probably getting clients in tune with what is important to them rather than what they think should be important to them.
And when you're asking these questions, are you asking these questions in like a surface level? Are you asking them sort of what do they want to spend their money on? Or are you diving real deep, like what is your purpose in life, or somewhere in between, or what are you talking about?
Yeah, more we start at the surface level because that's they're easy answers to give.
Yep.
But then once we start, we obviously work our way down to as deep as they'll let me to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Low can you go?
That's yeah, exactly. But so I want to know with my clients what drives them. So it's more than just finances. It's what, almost like what you said. What is your purpose in life, or what would you be doing if money wasn't an issue? All those type of questions.
Wow, man, that's cool. And so you're doing you 4 years ago you start your business. 6 months ago you go out on your own. You got 100 there. You ex-detective. You're really good at asking questions. What do you want to be really good at next?
I think the it's a really good question actually. So I think helping people to make an impact, both personally and financially. So going beyond just doing what they're doing in their own sort of sphere, and so being able to amplify either their message through content or anything else, but actually really saying, well, now, once you're sorted, what other impact do you want to make in the world? So sort of going from helping yourself to helping others, basically.
And you're in the B1G1 movement?
I am, yep, in the B1G1 movement. If you haven't checked it out, check it out.
How long have you been at that for?
B1G1?
Just under a year.
Okay. So B1G1's buy one, give one. It's like when someone does business with you and then you do something good in the world.
Yeah. So, for example, we've just done a soft launch, something that we haven't advertised to anyone that's not immediately connected with us, but the idea was to save people money on home loans, superannuation, just reviewing stuff basically. And every dollar that we save, we then donate a day's access to fertiliser and pesticide to a farmer in India so he can generate an income.
So what's the calculation?
For every dollar saved, we give 1 day's access to pesticide and manure. It is. So basically, I'm giving a shit, which is cool.
Been doing that for years, and now you can make a difference.
That's right. Make a difference.
Every dollar you save for a client in tax or whatever, you give a day's access to vital instruments for
shit.
Yeah.
Right.
To generate income. So that was the thinking behind that was save money and then help them make money.
Whoa. Okay, so if you help someone save $10,000, right, which is not beyond the realms of possibility.
One of the caveats I put on it though was first year savings only, so we didn't extrapolate it. So because if we extrapolated that, I'd probably be broke by now already. So,
no, that's what. But let's say it's 10,000. You help someone save $10,000.
Yeah, you donate 10,000 days access.
What does that cost?
For that particular one, it's like 1 cent per day.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but for one client last month, it was like just under $20,000 or something that we saved in your first year savings.
Yeah.
And so that was
so you have 20,000 days access.
Yep.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then another thing is, well, previous to that little campaign, we used to, every client we onboarded, every new client, we'd install a well in Cambodia that provided clean drinking water for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good setup. Have you met the guys there?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
I was
multiple
lucky
times.
enough
Paul
to
Dunn,
with
Masami,
Paul,
stuff. Yeah.
I haven't met Masami, but through the Key Person of Influence program, they had Paul Dunn at their recent some event they did.
Yeah.
And
Well, Glenn Castle's massively into it, so
yeah, loves it. Yeah, he does it like he's like every person that likes his Facebook page, he does a thing, and then every time they do an event and have someone there, they do something else.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
cool, man.
Yeah.
We do it in our business. I like what you've got on your site.
yeah,
You got the
the
different
widgets and everything.
The different widgets. I don't have the widgets on mine, but we just got into it.
Yeah.
I think
a few months
XY should definitely do something like this.
I've actually got a code that you can use to get $20 to get you started if you want.
$20?
Yeah.
Thanks, Shane.
Yeah, but hey, if it's 1 cent, that's like, I don't know, 2,000 impacts or something.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah,
That's a whole
chat.
podcast.
Yeah.
Let's chat afterwards. That's cool. I know. I really dig this.
Yeah, it's good, and I like to. You've got the map, and you can see where you.
Yeah, exactly.
No way.
And that updates in real time. So if you go to pearlfinancial.com.au/impact, I think it was, you'll see basically, the widgets and the reason that we do things.
So it's a bit like when you get a bottle of whiskey. I think it's Langerville, and you can see where your bit of peat is right near the whiskey gets made.
It's sort of like that, but less mud and heaps more better stuff.
And also just not all for you, just for other people as well.
Hey, I share my whiskey with other people.
Do you though?
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see this here. You've got this whole map of... and okay, it's showing where you're from and then shooting it up into places around the world.
Yep.
And then I guess if you land on a certain thing... Yeah, okay, cool. So planetary and support, 110,436 days of access to life-giving water were given to families by Pearl Finance Group.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
That is super cool.
What feedback do you get? Do you get much feedback?
I'll tell you what, I actually use it as a bit of a barometer. Is that the right instrument? Maybe it's another instrument. I don't know, compass? I don't know. But to see where if my values align with a client. So the client sort of, if they see that and they're like, that's not
Don't
that
give a
good,
shit.
or, why don't you just give me the money? That's kind of like, it might indicate that our values aren't aligned.
Yeah.
And
do you get feedback? Because do you tell them? Do you tell them?
Definitely. It's in my signature for every email.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm supposed to update it every Friday. Sometimes I forget. But every Friday, we'll just put in, we've donated X amount to this, blah, blah, blah.
Uh-huh.
So some clients who scroll down that far have given us feedback. So
To the end of your emails, you mean?
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What kind of emails are you sending?
Funnily enough,
no
I'm
wonder
actually-
the guy was on a boat.
I'm actually banned from writing longer than 3-line emails at the moment, so I actually have to use Soapbox. It's by Wistia, so it's Loom, that type of thing.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if it's longer than 3 lines, I shoot a Soapbox instead of...
Yeah, nice one.
You want an app that'll change your life? Marco Polo.
Right.
That is how, because except for the podcast, we back to doing a meeting a week now, but for the majority of the time, we're very rarely in the same room at the same time. And it's, if you think about it, it's Instagram, but for old, stuffy business people like us.
Yeah.
So what you do is you just pull it up and hit the button, and then it records, and then you hit stop, and then it sends it to everyone that you want. So it could be to
It's
one
not
to
really
two.
like Instagram. It's actually
Sorry, not
at all
Instagram.
Like Instagram.
Snapchat.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like
Sorta.
Snapchat.
I don't understand Snapchat.
I guess.
Well, correct. But it's the idea of you can send video stuff to each other.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice compliment. We use Slack. We've used Slack for years, but Slack's really good. But then if you got to say a lot, it's not really great for it.
Yeah.
And
And if
that's
you've
where
got someone that likes to say a lot, you can actually 2 times the speed, so you can get through.
Oh,
their
perfect.
messages.
Yeah.
Which is
That's
also
vital. Yeah.
It's mad.
Yeah.
So that's some cool shit.
Yeah. It's something that we like doing. We actually had the conference of B1G1 in Singapore in July. So
Oh, you went to it?
Okay.
yeah.
Paul Dunn's such a character.
He is. Yeah, he's 74 years old. He's actually about to do his last ever world tour. So I think that's happening next month, I think. So he's a very good presenter. If you've never seen him present, get along, because it's kind of, if you want to present, it's kind of the good to see how the good presenters present. How many times I say present? It's like 400 times. But yeah, present. That's right. So get along to that, because it's he is a character, a very good presenter. He's 74 years old, about to pull up stumps. He's handing over to Masami, who's his wife and business partner.
So what, he started this B1?
Yep.
Masami started it, really.
Yeah,
and
Masami did
Who's
start it.
Masami?
That's his wife.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
yeah,
it was only started in 2000. Oh, sorry.
The mortgage broking started in 2016.
Yep.
For those podcast listeners, Clayton's on the website. I know that it's very hard to hear a website being read, but I can talk it through for you if you like.
Yeah, no, actually, I'm interested. So your mission, buy your next property. Oh, okay. So while we love to help first home buyers, we also help existing property owners to buy your next property, refinance, or tap into your equity. Yeah.
So that's the old. So this needs an update. So it's if I had known it was going to get trawled on the podcast, would have updated beforehand. But basically, so when we first started out, we really thought that we'd like working with first home buyers, and a lot of that's rewarding. But then, as the business evolved, we kind of realised we more enjoyed working with business owners and professionals. So that mission has changed slightly.
And what do you enjoy about working with business people?
I'm in the trenches with them.
Yeah.
Or I've been in their trench previously.
Yes.
And there's nothing quite like that to say, hey, dude, I've been where you are or where you're about to be, and this is how I navigated it. This is the way that you could.
Have you taken someone with a financial plan from employment into self-employment?
I'm trying to think. Not really. We've given a few clients the confidence to basically ask for pay rises and stuff as a professional.
That's awesome.
We've had a few people
What do you do?
It's just through the conversation and saying, getting clear on where they want to be in the future.
Yep.
And sort of saying, well, at the end of the meeting, we'll say, well, okay, after you've gone through the financial plan, so okay, that's my part, but what's 3 things that you think you should do in the next 30 days to help you move forward? I just got an email this morning from a guy, and he said, well, one of my things was I'm going to look at his general insurance, and he said I saved $400 on motorbike insurance, the Ducati guy actually, and so that's just one thing. So I get clients to think, what are a couple of things you can do in the next 30 days just to keep momentum going, and to take the responsibility, I guess, away from me putting the plan together.
Yes.
And saying, hey, I'll do all the implementation on all the financial crap. What are you going to do? And then get them to do something as well.
So you do that with every client?
Yeah, try to.
That's
I
cool.
forget.
So you almost put the emphasis on them to come up with somewhat of a financial plan for themselves in addition to what you've done.
Yeah, or less so the financial plan, but more so stuff that they think they can do, whether it be from a professional perspective in their business, or who else can they ask for help is another question I ask. Or it doesn't need to be in their finances. It can be.
Yep.
And a couple of people are like, well, I'm going to go for a new job, or I'm going to go I'm going to ask for a pay rise. Had a couple of business owners that engaged consultants and coaches to free up their time, that type of thing. So it just depends.
I like it.
That's really cool.
I like it.
I can see that coming in the Ben's process now.
Yeah. But I like it more on the financial side. What can you do to get more money? Like, what are you going to do now to increase your earning potential?
Yeah. I look what I've done for you. Now I need you to do something for yourself. Yeah. That's really cool.
Mm. And an old business coach of mine used to say, his responsibility to people, not for them. He has a responsibility to people, not for them. So, whilst he can show you the way, they've got to take responsibility to actually put it in place.
For sure.
And that's kind of the aspect. That's kind of the direction I take and say, hey, I've shown you the way, but the best written plan doesn't mean squat if it doesn't get put into place.
And how often are you staying in contact with your clients?
As often as possible. So I just look for excuses. So I use an app called Bonjoro to just shoot like 5-second, 10-second videos and just shoot at the clients and say, hey, dude, I just saw this and I thought of you. If it's an article on the site on something else, check this out. Or if I know they're into something, hey dude, I saw tickets just come available for some crazy thing that you're.
Oh, and you do that?
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah, most of the time I say, I already knew that, and so I was like, but it sucked in, you heard from me. but it's just always constantly trying to open up conversations and making my clients feel comfortable enough to get in contact even when they need it.
Yeah, man.
Well, that's one of the biggest challenges. Like when stuff goes down, that they do get in contact with
Yeah,
you.
that's right. And to be the first person that they contact type of thing, and to be that, you've kind of almost got to be on a conversational level. So
Or
that they
charge
can,
them heaps.
Or charge them heaps, yeah, exactly.
It's like with
Or
gym
both.
membership that's really expensive.
Or both.
Oh, I better go because it's really expensive.
Yeah,
is,
that's
that,
Yeah,
is that how it works at your business?
Gotta get that money's worth. Yeah, for
That's
sure.
right. Yeah.
For sure.
Preferably both, charge them heaps.
So I'm charging you this for your own good.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Otherwise, as you say, like people just get things happen. They do what they think is the right thing, and then they're not doing the right thing.
Yeah, but quite simply, like, especially with free stuff, like no one values free stuff. Like how many free downloads do people sign up for and then do nothing with it?
Yeah.
Apply a price tag to it. It spurns action. So
Absolutely.
So no more free advice. Okay. Yeah. Just anyone listening out there.
In the free advice, because we were talking about before about what to do for people who don't become clients, there's nothing you can do for them at the time.
Yep.
Have you ever considered, and I'm asking this just because this B1, G1, obviously you've got a heart to help people.
Yep.
Is there anything in your process that you would think about leading people down to, like life Sherpa stuff, or map my plan, or where there are really entry level things. Is that sort of in your frame of reference at all?
I've never looked at them, to be honest. But if they're what I think they are, in its terms of like the sort of, are they sort of like the low level education based type stuff? Do it yourself. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's I've always thought that's been a massive gap in the industry, in the advice industry, where there's where is that DIY self directed. Even as it's a framework type of stuff.
Yeah, and this is exactly what it is. Vince owns Life Sherpa, and so I'm sure if you gave him a call, you'd say, I'm sending people your way. If they ever at any stage want to elevate themselves into advice, let me know. And Paul Feeney started Map My Plan, but I think if we consider the large majority of people, the 80% that aren't getting advice, we need to start thinking in these terms. That's just something I've been thinking about recently. Yeah,
and I think it's the future of the industry. To be honest, I think that the education-based offering will be the earliest entry to personal advice.
Yes,
and so I think that more and more people or advisors will start either having something down that level or be using something at that level to basically get people ready for personal advice.
It would be awesome because it takes a lot of work, Ben. I know that you tried to build one, right?
Shit.
Yeah. I'm surprised that there's not actually some company out there that's not doing this already, where they just go up to a planner and say, for X thousands of dollars, we will put your face into this program that just sets up, and then you can send it away.
But a lot of the stuff's shit, but it shouldn't be shit. Like there should be smart people that are able to do good things, but I think that they need to partner with the best planners to make that happen.
Give me a bit of time, Benny.
And then the best planners do I have no doubt. But actually, no.
I get the feeling this is a business idea. Are we going 25% into a business idea?
Let's do it. Shane, it sounds like you got plenty of good ideas.
I'd say more 33, and then Paddy can do our paperwork.
The fun stuff. The important stuff.
You guys have 100% of the employee pool. I'll take the
100% of the profits.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's true, man. It's so hard, that stuff. So I think partnering with these people is it makes a lot of sense. I try to do it myself, and man, so much time, and I spent X dollars plus Y dollars as well, and even more so just the time cost and figuring it out. And then you realize that if you've got a great, a high value advice business, that's not the best way to spend your time. It sounds really appealing, and it's like, I'm going to take over the online world and this and that. But you ask these people, it's not. You just go sell more financial plans. Find the right people that need your help. You charge them a fair fee, help them out. They're happy, you're happy, business is good. It's a specialist thing, like Clay's saying, that I think, there's absolutely an opportunity there.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that you're exactly right. You need to be directing your time to what gets you the biggest ROI. For a financial advisor, most of the time that is giving financial advice to higher level clients.
Yeah.
Not, spending bloody 15 hours editing a video to put on to an education portal or something like that. So yeah, exactly.
Just so much more.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, man. Well, thanks so much for coming in. If someone wants to reach out, I know that you like to, as you put in your description to us earlier, that you like to argue with people on the internet. But I'm sure you're not constantly arguing.
Just tag him in your comment on the Facebook group.
Yeah. Or which website? Should
I'll
they
find
look
you.
at? Which
You won't find me. I'm going to take your number.
With a phone book.
Who is the detective here? Did you ever go into private detective?
No.
Would you ever?
No.
And if you did, would you call yourself a private dick? You'd have to, wouldn't you? That's have to.
Yeah.
We'll do it. Get really long socks, private dick,
Massive trench coat.
maybe monocle.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Carry a sword.
I'll definitely do the monocle. That goes without saying. In fact, I've just taken it off. It's just sitting in my pocket here. But, and one of those nice hats. But if anyone wants to get in contact with me, best way to do it is probably LinkedIn, Shane Black. I think my URL is financial-planner-Sydney. Or you can email me, shane@pearlfinancial.com.au or shane@pearlwealth.com.au. Or you can Google me. And no, I don't do movies in Hollywood. So if you get that Shane Black, that's the wrong one.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks so much. It's awesome to meet you in person. And I'm sure you'll be throwing in dad jokes for a while to come.
No, thanks for having me. It's been an absolute blast. And I look forward to, spreading my dad jokiness throughout the internet and the XY Advisor group.
Sold. Cheers,
Thanks,
mate.
Shane.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate.